Excuse me. Hi, this is a Tech Modeler channel in regards to my build of the 1/48 scale Sturmtiger with the 38 cm assault mortar. 18 vehicles were produced by the Germans in World War II. The Allies were really worried about this vehicle, and when you think about it, you can't really understand it, but obviously it got a lot of destructive power in inner city buildings and fighting. So therefore it was quite a very destructive vehicle. I know I've read somewhere in one of the magazines I read that one of these vehicles fired its rocket propelled mortar shell, and it actually turned over 2 Shermans. So even against, it's meant to be used against buildings, but if vehicles were anywhere near it, the explosion that actually incurred threw these 2 Shermans onto their side. So obviously they was out of service until they got put back to rights. Anyway, so that's basically the destructive power of the vehicle. It's very heavy, but as I said, 18 vehicles produced, so they wouldn't have been encountered too many times. They were used in the Ardennes and also in the Warsaw uprising as well, and there is a bit of footage of one firing a mortar in the uprising at Warsaw, so you do see that. But there you go. So that's the basic vehicle. Now this is a 1/48, as I said earlier. So it's quite a small vehicle, and if I put my hand next to it, you can see what I mean. I've actually applied some Zimmerik, which comes from the Tamiya set that you can get, and I've lost the number now, but I will actually be able to get to you later. So I will put it in the read-up underneath, the write-up underneath the video. So the kit number of this one is 32591, and this is the instructions that come with it. I don't know if I just put that there. There you go. And there's the kit number if you read it. It's 133mm long, so therefore it's not very big. I was building this, as I said earlier on when I'd done the box review. The fact is I'm still waiting even today, I'm waiting for the gas man to come, so I'm hoping to get this video complete before he arrives. If not, I have to restart it. So anyway, but what I'm going to do is a quick review. The build was very quick on this vehicle. It's very good. I did replace the handles on the top of the roof. There's 3 in quotation with brass on the top of the roof, and I also, and I don't know if you can see this, but these little circles around the outer part of the barrel, you can see, are actually to expel the gases after the mortar was fired, because it was rocket propelled. Obviously the people inside didn't want all those gases coming, so basically I think they wouldn't have survived very long, but it actually expelled all the gases once it fired. So very good. But the point is they're indentations, so if you with a wash, I think you'd have actually got a nice replication of it. But I decided to drill the right size and drill out every single one of them down for about 1/16, about that I think it was, might have been 1/8 actually, but anyway, but it doesn't matter. I drilled in far enough so you could actually see there was some distance in the holes, and I think you can actually see that in the video. There's a Zimmerik on the front there. It's even on the lower glacis plate as well. You can see the difference in shine. The Tamiya stuff sticks very well, but you have really got to get it in the right place. You can peel it up once, but after that really it starts to lose its tackiness. So going around the side, you can see the Zimmerik on the side. I haven't got the tools on it yet because that will be put on at the end. I'm waiting for a photo etch kit set to come. The one I talked about in the when I talked about the inbox review was actually the AFV one. AFV Club one, and to be honest, I don't know how you can get the screens different size for the same scale vehicle, but they had, so it was slightly off when he went on there, and it just didn't look right. So I've just ordered the ones from Aber, which is a set that will be coming over the next 3 or 4 days to actually allow me to put all the extra bits on the back, the mesh. It will look much better with that. You can see it in the photographs that it's got. Going further round the back, you can see these are only just in place, but all the other bits and pieces you can see on the back have been done. You can see, I think, just see a glossiness of the actual Zimmerik, and I'm going to leave it like that because it shows you where it is, and it does stick down really nice, and it does look in scale. But obviously when you get a paint on it, that's when the difference will come in. I also replaced, I don't know if you can see this now, the engine deck handrails in brass. I use the old trusty chisel to get them off. Same on the actual hatch at the back, the loader's hatch at the back, or I don't know whether there's a bit of drilling bit there. I'll take that off. Whoops. Should have blown it. But there you go. There's a bit of shaving from when I was drilling the holes out the front that got around the back. But there's a hand on the side and the 2 there. It looks to scale. I managed to get, I used a scale wire slightly thinner than what the plastic parts, because the plastic parts did actually look over heavy. Going round again, a bit further. The engine deck inside, I'm going to do something now to show you. This actually lifts off. For spraying, it's going to be great because I can do the tracks much easier. If I lift this off, comes off quite nice. You can see the weights in there. The weights in there do give it a bit of weight. I wasn't going to do it, as I said, in the actual unboxing, but I found that it did add a substantial little bit of weight there to actually do it. The good thing is now is I can paint this in one piece and then lift off to do all the detail painting for the tracks, even with an airbrush and some masking. So, and because you haven't got no rubber tyres on the wheels because they're the steel rimmed version, it's going to be much more interesting. So as you can see, I might see a bit more of the old handrail there. I'm quite pleased with this kit, and it did make a change. What I was going to do is when the gas man come, I was going to actually take the if I do that, there you can see the old holes in the barrel. I was going to take some of the ship's HMS the Compass Rose bits downstairs and sit in the dining room doing it, but I decided to take the model down there, and I must admit it's been a real pleasure to do. I can actually say that this is a great Tamiya kit for anyone who builds 1/48 scale. I have got a 48 scale 1/48 scale Kuberwagen that's in outside my collection somewhere in the old in the cupboard, I should say, and it's in full, and it is a Tamiya one, so it should fit in quite nicely with this. And I've had that when they first produced it. In fact, I don't think it's a Tamiya one actually. I think it's an Italia one, but it'll still fit the bill. So it should kind of sit next to this. I'm not sure. I'll most probably make a little vignette. Oh, you know what I mean. A very small base without no buildings in, just a base of a bit of rockery and a bit of concrete and some stuff. A bit like it around here, it is in there, and no problem. Not going to use the figure. Don't like it. To be honest, it looks too early war stuff, and he looks too big. Most of the photographs I've seen, they're wearing sort of work denims, and this looks like a nice, lovely tank uniform. So not going with that. I might send away for a couple of pieces there, but at the end of the day, the vehicle trundling through the road will be just as good. Anyway, so as you can see, it's coming along. Machine gun looks nice. I'm going to drill the little barrel out at the end. I'm going to try it and have a little drill of that. There's a little indentation there, I think. So if that's there, I can get a very small minute drill. Just going to put a small hole in it. So there you go. This is my my build, not completed, because if I show you, got some more bits. So if I just turn this up, excuse me. I don't like moving the camera much when it's doing this, but you'll just see over to the left side if I turn it slowly. You can see these little trays with little bits and pieces there. If the photo edge set has got these are the actual shields around the exhaust at the back. If the photo edge ones look better, I should use those. We'll see what the set comes with, but I'm mainly doing it for the grills at the back. So there you go. So that is my not completed build, but I'd say 95% done, but just a few bits to put on it. I've also, I forgot to mention that, around the back here, the Tamiya give a solid bit that goes on here, on top of the exhaust, and then you've got the little plate at the top. And I think I might be able to show it better in one of my magazines, which is Buckfed Quite, and this was 1990, this was produced. I don't know if I can come out of it. There you go. No, not going to be able to do that. But basically, this is the book that I'm using. I've got quite a good. It's a bit jag-tight. It's a bit of I've got one or two books like this. This I bought way back in the 1990s. When I was at the training centre in London for Southeastern, and so I bought quite a few. But if you've got there's what I mean by the actual gun. You can see that it's very distinctive, the holes for the gases to escape the gun, and I think you can see. I think I've covered that quite nicely. I know Brett Green from Brett Green did it, and he actually did a great job in building one of these, and he's the one reason I got it in the first place. It's very nice. It's a smallish kit, but you know it's got a hell of a lot of detail for 1/48 scale. I've actually got the AFV Club's 1/35 scale one with a full interior box set that goes with it, and this has really stirred me on to want to build that as well, because then I can actually go into more of it. But there you go. So they're selling. So I'm not going to waffle on much more, but I'm trying to show those exhaust bits that I sold about. There you go. I think you should be able to see this. There's a photograph, and if you see, these bits here are actually tubes, just like they are on the normal Tiger one. So they've actually made it easy for moulding, make it solid. But what I've done is, I don't know if this is going to show up too much. It might do. I think you can just see that. There's some. I've put the 5 holes. I've drilled them in. There was 3. I mean, 3 holes there in the first place, but I've made the other 2 in as well on both. They're going to be perfect for a small brass rod because I've drilled the hole right through. I'll be able to push the rods down into the thing and then get the plate that goes on top and put a bit of super glue on it and push it on and level them off, and then they'll be perfect. And then I'll just run a bit of white glue around it to seal it. But there you go. So that's what it's looking like so far. I think it's going to look nice. I'm going to be using a similar spray camouflage to this, but there's quite a few. We've got 1 or 2 pictures there. They don't even look camouflaged, but of course black and white photographs can be a bit deceptive. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. And what I always do is on the last video for this, because it's only going to be 3 technically. The open in the box, this one, and 1 more when it's completely finished. And I will actually give a quick discussion on the operational history of it. There was only 3 units it went to, so 1000, 1001, 1002 storm artillery units, or mortar companies as they call them. So there you go. Thank you very much for watching, and it's been a pleasure to build a nice straightforward kit with no issues on the build, and I will say that there's no issues on the build whatsoever. I mean, if you create them yourself, of course, and even the tracks, these link tracks actually look the part. And they really went on quite well as well. Another good thing. So there's nothing really I can say about this kit that needs modifying in any way, apart from I just added the handrails, drilled out the bits and pieces, and drilled out the bits for the exhaust. So there are little updates you can do to make it, and a bit of photo etch for the grills, which will add that little bit. Oh, there is one thing I'm going to add. I will say this. Inside this, when I lift that up, because you can see inside there a little bit, you can actually see I'm going to spray inside black obviously, but then what I'm going to do is going to make a little box up for the back, the engine area. I'm going to paint, you know, the fuel tanks that go on either side, I'm going to paint them with red oxide inside, so if what you can see through would be the right colour. Anyway, but that's all I'm going to do on that one. So thank you very much for watching this video, and look out for the last instalment at some point. I'm not sure when it will be, but because I might decide to finish this kit completely now before I move back onto the Compass. Because I'm still keyed up to do this one. Thank you very much for watching again, and I'll catch you on the next one, which will be the last one for this particular model. Thank you very much. See ya.